Hi there, Mark Lieber, A3G Munitions. Here in the shop today with my original Rollsizer. This is the commercial Rollsizer. It is one of the first, probably the first 10 off the line. It's the one I did my initial review of about 8 or 9 years ago. It's been a solid machine, no problems, and the reason I'm here today with you is we're going to upgrade this. We're going to upgrade it to the latest I call it bells and whistles, but the latest feature. This is the power drive for the commercial Rollsizer. It is now available. Actually, it's just now. In the next week or so, it's available. I've got them on the way right now. This is going to turn this into a processing powerhouse. As you probably remember from the video, or maybe you don't. If you've got one, you know these do about 6,000 cases an hour as they sit. Initially, out of the gate, they did 6,000 cases an hour. With the power drive, we've upped that to 10,000 cases an hour. So stand by. We're going to put this, I've never had one on here. We had these at SHOT Show. If you went to SHOT Show and came by the booth, you saw one of these. But we're going to put this on my old Rollsizer. It fits all commercial Rollsizers, no matter when you got it. So don't worry about that. We're going to put this on. I'll show you how it works. We'll do a quick install video, and then really the real point of all this is this machine has done at least 1 million cases. I also manufacture ammo. So this machine has been a solid workhorse. It's one of the first 50 off the line, and it's still going strong. So those of you guys that are in a commercial outfit, this is the machine to process brass. It will last you forever. Anyway, let me get the camera reset and we'll get started. All right, as a reminder, I know you can't see my face, but that's probably better. As a reminder, I've got this set up and it's an original configuration, so we can see it work before we upgrade it. Again, the key points I think are that this was a very noisy machine. It's fine in commercial environments, but it is very noisy. I've got a simulated case feeder here, which is a plastic tube, and I'm going to catch my brass in this cup, but you'll get an idea for how fast it is in the original configuration. As you can see, it's noisy. You've got several moving parts hitting against each other. Okay, so that's in its original configuration. Let's put some horsepower on it. All right, what I've done here is I've put yellow tabs with arrows showing what screw holes we're going to use to mount this device. They're the same on every commercial Rollsizer. They all have the same holes. They're threaded the same. Everything's the same. So those are the holes we're going to be using to install this device. All right, let's take our box with the 3mm Allen key in hand. And these rubber grommets are important. They stay on there. In fact, we'll get rid of our little yellow flags here. Whoop. We are going to push these rubber grommets into place like so. Then we're going to tighten them. Don't go crazy. What we're doing, these are rubber sleeves. They've got threaded inserts at the ends, and the rubber is acting, it's just filling the hole. So because those are not blind threaded holes. Again, they're 3mm Allen keys. I would just get it to where, yeah, that's plenty snug, okay? So now what we're going to do is we are going to unscrew this guy. Leave that spring on. And we're going to add this spring. We're going to put it back in the hole. Okay, we can remove the screws in our die, and we can also remove the coil, the trip wire, if we'd like. Might as well while we're here. That's a 5mm, not a 4. It's been in here for a while. I haven't done anything but 9mm for a long time. So there we go, that's out. We'll take the screw out, or we won't, we'll just leave it there. It's not a big deal. So that's that. That is the installation. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now we're going to take our power cord. It comes with a DC power box. We're going to plug it in. This disc, you'll see, now this is a prototype, so this is a 3D printed disc. The production ones, which are available now, are going to be aluminum. These holes are marked and drilled, so you can adjust the throw by doing this. So what we're going to do, and what you can see, we'll turn it on. So that's essentially the action you're looking for. So we haven't done any adjustments with this. I'm going to fill up my simulated case feeder again. Hate to do this online or on while you guys are watching, but you know what? It beats some kind of loud music, doesn't it? I hope. Now we will, I'm sure, have to do some adjustments, because this is just a prototype that I brought home from SHOT Show with me, and this video is way overdue. Especially since these are going to be shipping now. You can order them on the website, a3gmunitions.com. You can order them today. They're $450. All right, now let's see what happens. We're going to turn on the Rollsizer, and obviously it's not going to feed anything. You can see it's a little quieter. Again, this is an older one. It's probably louder than the current ones. And we are going to turn the rheostat off, turn our switch on. We can control the speed. Okay, so clearly we need to do some adjustment. Okay, I did some tweaking, so you didn't have to watch me do it on camera, and adjusted some things. In fact, there's one more thing I want to adjust. I want to push this spring back just a hair. So much for not watching me do it on camera. All right, so here we go. Remember, before it was very loud. It had a bunch of clanging bits and pieces, and now it basically doesn't. So here we go. So you can see it feeds much faster. It's quieter, and once you get it set up, obviously I'm out of breath. Now I'm out because my simulated case feeder only holds so much. They can run independently. You won't hurt any. You won't hurt the device. Again, this will be made out of aluminum, milled out of aluminum on the production version. This is completely adjustable, as well as different holes for different amounts of movement. I've got this on 20 just as a point of reference for 9mm 380, 32 Smith & Wesson, even 223. It's probably going to be on, you're going to probably want it on 20. You're going to want to, start slow, especially on rifle. I would tend to run it slower than otherwise. But anyway, they're available today, $450 from A3G Munitions. All right, now that I've shown you the power drive for the commercial Rollsizer, and you've seen the installation, seen what it can do, let's talk about some accessories that I think you really need to look at, whether they're my accessories or whether they're somebody else's equivalent of the same thing. There's a few tools you're going to need to be successful processing brass. They're critical to keep you productive. Think about it. If you're processing brass at 10,000 cases per hour with this machine, and you spend 15 minutes clearing a jam in the machine because of a steel case, was the money you spent on the power drive worth it? At the end of the day, you've got to streamline your operation. You've got to eliminate the exceptions, and you've got to be as effective and efficient as you can with the tools you've invested in. So let's talk about a few tools that I think will help you. And again, whether you buy my versions of it or whether you find something similar somewhere else or whether you invent your own, don't really care, but these are tools that in the long run are going to help you be more successful in your brass processing business. Let's take a look. All right, so the first tool I want to talk about is the steel catcher. It's essentially a magnet that catches steel cases. This is the product we're talking about. I know a lot of you guys are putting magnets around your drop tube and stuff like that. That's, you know, as long as you're capturing the steel cases, that's fine. I think the upside to the steel catcher is it grabs the steel case here before it gets in the drop tube, much quicker and easier to change. So let's take a look at it, see how it works. So I'm simulating a steel case, falls in there. You can see it stops right there. It's a simple matter of popping this out, grabbing the case, popping it back in. All right. If my drop tube is full of brass, I didn't spill any. I didn't have to go down in the middle of the tube and pull the steel case out. So again, steel catcher, it's cheap insurance to keep steel cases out of your Rollsizer, especially now that you've got folks like S&B and Freedom Munitions with some of their brass being steel cases that are gilded in brass. They look like brass, they feel like brass. You pick them up, they, you know, you think you're fine, they're bright and shiny, and all of a sudden you find out that they're steel underneath. So steel catcher, a3gmunitions.com. Check it out. If you have any questions, certainly shoot me an email. The other product I want to talk real quickly about is the waterfall eliminator. That's this piece up here. It's basically a funnel that increases the distance between the part that necks down of the funnel, keeping your 9mm from turning sideways. The reason you get a waterfall effect is a 9mm, the case rim hits this, it gets sideways, and before it gets out the tube, it gets sideways in the tube. Once you've got one sideways, they all back up, and you get the waterfall effect where this fills up and they spill out, and it causes all sorts of grief. So that is the waterfall eliminator from A3G Munitions. It's a simple device to install. You basically loosen the two screws at the bottom of your case feeder. You slide it down, drop it in, push it back up. I use it for 40 Smith & Wesson. I use it for 9mm. You know, it doesn't cause any problems when I use it with 38 or 357. So I don't take it out. I would take it out for 45, and I do not use it for rifle cartridges. But it's, again, cheap insurance to keep that 9mm from spilling all over the place, especially those of you guys doing using a commercial machine as a Rollsizer. You know, you got your bucket placed on the floor, your brass is feeding out of the Rollsizer into the bucket. Well, you get the waterfall, and now all of a sudden you got a bunch of brass that's not rolled falling into your bucket. So it's a pain in the ass. Anyway, that is that product. All right, the last product I want to introduce you to is the collator, the Rollsizer case collator. If you've got a Rollsizer at home, you know when you got the tube, there was a piece of black zip tie around the bottom. What that does is that constricts what is normally a bigger inside diameter than you need, so that the cases drop sort of straight down and don't get hung up on the lip of your drop tube. What I've done, because I got tired of taking it off for 45 and putting it back on for 9, is I've designed this little collator. It's camfered or chamfered or however you pronounce it inside, and the nylon tube fits very snugly on the top. It fits very snugly on the drop tube on the bottom. Works with all your drop tubes, with all your calibers, all your cases. Very simple device. Sits between the vinyl tubing and the drop tube, and eliminates the need for that zip tie. So again, that is the Rollsizer case collator from A3G Munitions. They are also on the website and available now. So check those out if you have any questions about any of the products I've spoken about, or if you have a question about your commercial Rollsizer and adding a power drive, please reach out to me, Mark at a3gmunitions.com. Be happy to help you. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much.